Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about tips and tricks for working from home. If you're new here, my name is Vanessa. I make lifestyle, vlogs, fashion, all the above types of videos, and if that's something that interests you, consider subscribing. Let's get into the video. I actually got requested to make this video of tips that I use when I'm working from home. I've been working from home for about 2-ish years, it's going on 3, and I think, after some time getting used to it in the transition from working in office to working from home, I do have a schedule routine that I find pretty helpful, so I wanted to share some of the things I've learned with you all. So let's get into the tips. So I only have 5, but feel free to drop down in the comments below anything I missed or anything you find super helpful in your work from home flows. So first things first, you need to establish a routine. Now, when we were going in office, or for those who still go in office, you have to prepare the night before, you get up, you get dressed, you have that whole routine, you get in your car, train, whatever, and you go to work. So you already had established routine there. But when you're working from home, since you still have you still have your kitchen, you still have your bed, all these things, it's easy to just, slip back into it and not really make a routine. You just open up your laptop and you're at work. So it is very helpful to make a routine before and after your workday. So before your workday, set up time to get up early, get dressed. You don't gotta be dressed to the nines or anything like that, but get dressed, do your skincare routine, make your coffee, grab some breakfast, whatever that gets you in the mindset of preparing to get into your workflow. So then obviously you get to work, do all your stuff. And then just as important, at the end of your workday, make sure you're still creating that line of separation between working and your home regular life. So, close your laptop, turn off Slack, Outlook. I don't want to hear any of those little dings and none of that. And just make sure you are disconnecting from work. Because you work from home, it's really easy to I'll just finish that project tonight, or I'll keep going. Make sure you're just working according to your actual work hours and not pushing yourself more than you need to. So, be respectful of your work hours. Your colleagues will do the same. And just be mindful of that routine before and after work, just to make sure you're doing and establishing that separation between the two. And with making that schedule, it's also very important, and this is tip number 2, to have a planner for your actual work day. Now, you can do this one of 2 ways. You can have a digital schedule, or a pen and paper type of schedule. Now, of course, whether it's Outlook or Microsoft Teams or Slack, whatever, you have your meetings scheduled for your day when you're working from home. But I also find it very important to have some sort of to-do list, whether you're writing on a piece of paper or you have electronic to-do list in your notes, or in Google, how they have Keep Notes, all that stuff, or Asana, Evernote, whatever the case may be, just somewhere to write down and keep track of all your tasks. Another thing that I do, I have a separate Google Calendar in my work calendar, so then only I can see it, and I write down how much time I've taken for a task. This is helpful for me because we still do time tracking, but it also could be helpful if you want to just keep track of what you're doing, allotting time, okay, I know I have meetings all morning, but I'm gonna block off a time in my calendar. And this, you can also turn it on for other people to see it too, but I'm gonna block off 2 hours to do this one task or this one project I need to get done. Just so you're keeping track of your time, task, project, all that, and it's not just so one, you can remember, because you say something to me, if I don't write it down, it's gone, it's not gonna happen. So you can keep track of everything that you're working on, and then be able to effectively communicate. So the rest of your team, oh, I need help on this, or oh, I'm working on this, I can't take on that. It just keeps you in charge of everything you're working on, and then oh, on Tuesday I need to do this report. So it's just an easy way to keep track of everything. Tip number 3 is planning breaks. Now, there's 2 different types of breaks I like to do. So one, obviously, is a phone break, a social media break. So I like to do, if I have a timer, or I've blocked off time. So let's say I'm gonna work on something for a couple hours, and then after I finish that task, or after that allotted set of time, I'm gonna get 10 minutes or 5 minutes on my phone. This is helpful to me just so I'm not constantly picking up my phone during the work day. Of course, those days happen where you're gonna be on your phone more than normal, but I try to have scheduled breaks so I'm not constantly picking up my phone, and then I know oh, I should be working on this, but I'm on my phone, like I'll get to it. No, this is my dedicated time to be on my phone, check my emails, look at memes, whatever, just so I have like that mind break, look at my phone, and then I'm like, okay, 10 minutes are up, I'll go back to work. So I have a couple of those throughout the day, just so I'm saying focus on work, and then when I'm in my fun zone, I'm in my fun zone. So the second type of break I like to put in my work day is a movement break. There are things where you can like sit down and work and stand up and work, but I like to have an actual movement break throughout my day. So maybe I'll walk up and down the stairs, I'll go run out, check the mail, get some fresh air, just something so I'm not like looking at a screen or looking at my computer. Just to give your eyes a break, get some fresh air. It is helpful because when you do work from home, I find that it's very easy to get restless because you're sitting on the computer or standing at the computer for the whole time. So just having like a change up in your body movement is very helpful. Okay, my tip number 4 is having the proper setup and equipment for your work from home space. So of course you want to have a dedicated workspace. If you can transform one of your rooms to be solely an office space, that's great. Or if you can transfer like a section or corner of your house to have your workspace, that's awesome. You just want to have the separation between like your normal life and your workspace. So I try my best not to work in my room because this is like, obviously the temptation of the bed is there where you could just go to sleep, but this is like my space for all my personal things and then my content work. It's not for my full-time job work. So I'll typically only work downstairs at my desk or at like my living room, just so I have that bit of separation between work and my personal life. So I like to make sure that that stays separate. So within having a dedicated workspace, there's also the proper setup. So within having a proper setup is having the right tech for you. Now, this ranges in budget, obviously. So if you have like an office space, you know, you can get like a nice chair for like your posture and back support, get like desk risers. I do have a couple things on my Amazon storefront, so I'll be sure to link it down below, different little devices and stuff I use that I found helpful for my work from home space, especially my noise canceling headphones. If you have roommates or live with family or someone else works from home, they are major, just so you're able to take calls while they're also still working too. All that amazing stuff, look it up. I know the TikTok girlies be talking about it all the time, the different work from home things you can add. On the lower end of things, you can simply get like a mouse, maybe a better webcam for your computer. Make sure like you sit by a window so you have proper lighting on video calls, just little things like that to help your setup be more efficient, fun, and like comfortable of a space for you and your workflow. Okay, and my 5th and final tip, now this doesn't necessarily have to do with your actual workflow for working from home. Found it incredibly helpful for me just to have something, since work and home life is at home, just have another thing to do. So I've implemented regularly exercising. Now, if you're already a gym rat, you already know what this is about. But if you don't regularly exercise, that is super important when you work from home because you're constantly sitting and constantly just in the home. You're not having the interaction of like going to your car and like walking to the office, like, or walking to get lunch when you're at the office, like all that little stuff and movement has been cut out. I've implemented regular exercise. Now, this is not necessarily a work from home tip, it's kind of a life tip, but especially important if you do work from home. So if you can implement exercising, I would 10 for 10 recommend it. You can start out simple, just taking a walk after work every day, or going to like your local gym if you want to do that too, or even just finding like some type of movement hobby, the Pilates girls, where you at, like just something to get your body moving since the majority of your day is sitting and in your home. So I found all those different tips helpful for my productivity and my general work from home flow. Exercise isn't something that has to do with workflow, but when you exercise, like you're getting your body moving, it's healthy for your body too, but then also you sleep better, so you won't feel as restless at work too because you're getting better sleep. So these tips and tricks have been super helpful for me and just making my work from home flow just run a little bit smoother. Drop down in the comments below anything you have found incredibly helpful in working from home and any hacks and tricks you want to share with us. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!